Welcome to Elevate eCommerce, the podcast where we elevate your e-commerce game. Join our host, Hi Mag, CEO of Eva, as he shares the latest strategies in Amazon, omnichannel, and advertising. Whether you're a seasoned entrepreneur or just starting, Hi's insights and expert interviews will help you thrive in the e-commerce world. Tune in for practical tips and transformative success stories to elevate your business to new heights.
Welcome everyone to the next episode of Elevate eCommerce. And my name is Hi, I'm the CEO and co-founder of Eva. And today we have a wonderful guest. It's an absolute distinct pleasure to introduce Will Hiare. And Will is the CEO and co-founder of Bellawix, a boutique agency. They do full service account management for Amazon and Walmart. And Will is in the industry for a very long time. He worked with many different type of customers. So I'm sure today he will tell us a lot of nice stories and it will give us great insights about how to make sure the e-commerce is growing profitably for the brands. Welcome, Will.
Hey, amen to that. Hi, thanks for having me, man. I'm excited to be here to talk about some of my favorite topics, which is advertising and growing brands on Amazon and Walmart. So let's do this.
Great to hear that. So why don't we just jump into the first thing? What we see now is 75% of customers come to us because they have a problem with advertising, and maybe some of them leave us because they think the advertising can be done better. So it's kind of like becoming all about advertising on Amazon. So my first question to you is like, what's your advertising strategy in Bellawix? Like, how do you handle that?
Beautiful. We have kind of a philosophy, like obviously what we're going to do is geared towards growth to some degree, but a lot of it depends on kind of the business. So us being a boutique model agency, we're really focused on customized strategies that work for our brand. So 9 times out of 10, they're coming to us with some type of challenge. I'm not profitable. I'm trying to grow top line sales. I think we're wasting spend. We have poor data analytics and reporting. And then we come in and we kind of come up with a customized approach depending on what their end goals are. So, it's a long way of saying it kind of depends on the individual situation. But overall, what we're graded on as an agency, which I'm sure you can relate to as well, it's performance-based and it's usually tied to sales to some degree.
Makes a lot of sense. Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of brands really like that performance-based model. Some of them want like the fixed price, but most of them, I think, are into that performance-based model. So the advertising on Amazon, and also like you are experts in Walmart too, and we see that it's changing every month, like new things are coming. What are these innovative advertising techniques that you see in the last few months, and maybe you use them and they are successful?
Yeah, so there's a couple different ways, but what we like to say is like stay true to kind of what's already working. So like Amazon releases stuff all the time. It's like, hey, new sponsored display feature. Hey, we're doing some social stuff. Hey, we got this thing going on too. And 9 times out of 10, they're pushing it. They're trying to get brands to adopt it. And sometimes it works great. You could be a first mover and you could be crushing it and making a ton of money with low clicks and low impressions, cost per impressions. But 9 times out of 10, like what you're really going to focus on, give or take, depending on where you are in your journey in terms of maturity of the product and the market, 80%, 70 to 80% is really going to be like pay per click. And it's going to be occupying the bottom of the funnel, people who are in market, who are searching for your product, who are searching for your brand, who are searching for competitors. And a lot of focus is on like, how can we acquire those customers efficiently where you're making you money. The second side of that, and this is where a lot of advertisers and brands miss it, it's like, what am I doing to fuel the mid and upper funnel? How am I getting new customers in, and how am I getting more new to brand sales? And that's where you got to get a little more creative. So Amazon is blessing us with a lot of some new features. The creator connections is a great way to work with affiliates and associates. Brand tailored promotions is a great way to attract market buyers. we're a big proponent of Amazon's programmatic platform, demand side platform, DSP, and it's a great way to build your own audiences and to attract customers on and off the platform using Amazon's data. So knowing that someone has shown intent, or somebody is the right demographic, or somebody's consuming content that aligns to what a shopper would typically consume before they're getting ready to purchase the product. And we can get in front of those customers and we could drive them to Amazon listings. We could drive them to storefront pages to educate them on the platform. And in some instances, like we can't drive to Walmart, obviously, but we could drive them to landing pages where if it's a higher price item, education may be needed. So we could drive them there to educate them, to bring them back to Amazon, to work them into our funnel. And the name of the game, and you know this, the goal is like pepper them with ads, get exposure, bring them into your funnel, and turn them into customers.
Absolutely. What you said about the DSP and the upper funnel or the mid funnel strategies, that is also extremely important that I think, and with the repeat customer purchase behaviors, if you can capture them, we see some great results with DSP, much better than the PPC as well. Well, PPC is the foundation. You need to do it right, but anything you do on top is kind of helping with reducing ACOS and TACOS. But I think, Will, it's not only about advertising. As a full service agency, you know that there's a lot of other factors that are impacting the advertising. So my next question to you is like, what do you think affects advertising that is not advertising itself? And what is your strategy around that?
That is a super great question. And I would say, like, don't get me wrong, there's a ton of factors. You can look at the halo effect and like, your pricing, your fulfillment method, your promotional strategy. It all plays into it, your sales velocity. But really simply, if I'm looking at advertising and I'm trying to improve performance, the first thing I'm going to go to is I'm going to look at the listing and I'm going to look at conversion rates around the listing. So I want to make sure that my listings have A+ content that resonates with my customers. I want to make sure that I have a proper parent-child relationship for those listings to make sure that I'm showcasing the proper products that logically go together, as well as I'm having enticing bullets. So like, a big mistake I see sellers make is like they just keyword stuff the crap out of their listing. They're like, hey, bullets, I get 1,500 characters. I'm going to throw everything and the kitchen sink in there. And we know the kitchen sink doesn't belong in there. I'm selling widgets, not kitchen sinks. So, understanding that like once they're on the page, you did half the work. Your main image is on point. You got the click through to your page. It's all about conversion rates. So how do you put some romance in there? How do you showcase the unique selling proposition of your product? And how do you prevent them from going away? So how do you have a good variation lineup or using A+ content to get them to say, maybe I don't want the blue, I want the red, or I don't like the design of this shirt or this whatever. But somewhere on the page, I'm showcasing other products and I'm trying to keep them within my brand so that I'm going to get the purchase, whether they came into my page looking at the blue thing and they went and they bought the red thing. So conversion rates is a big part of that. And split testing, obviously, and understanding the leverage you can pull is going to help improve conversion rates, which is going to lift your advertising and your sales. So, if I got a 1% conversion rate and I'm driving 100 customers, that's one person in 100 at whatever cost per click. But if I know now I can convert 10, technically I'm 10xing. Obviously, it's not always linear, but I'm going to 10x your return on your investment. So conversion rates are really powerful, and it's something that should be looked at just as hard as we look at advertising.
Absolutely. Like, I'm sure you're aware of that Amazon brand metrics and the category level CVR, CTR data. At least it's available, not always showing the right numbers, but I mean, whatever is available, if your conversion rate is even lower than the median conversion rate, most likely there is a problem, and maybe advertising is not the first solution to that, right? The first solution is always to improve the CTR and CVR by improving the SEO and the image and A+ content. And a lot of PPC only agencies or PPC only focused people just try to fix the problem with advertising, where exactly as you said, if you're able to increase CVR by 1 point, not even 10x, but just 1 point, like from 10 to 11%, will normally have an impact on ACOS like 10%, just because you are improving the conversion. So thank you for highlighting that. Now, you guys are doing this more than 5 years, if I'm not mistaken. I'm sure you worked with a lot of brands. Maybe you can share with us a case study, an interesting one, like where you were able to grow the brand in an unexpected way. It will be great to share.
Yeah, so I'll actually share a recent one. It's going to be released on our website, let's just say in the next 30 days. But we're working with a new pet brand. We launched them in January, and they have like a really unique product that's like it's spray to keep your pet from peeing where it's not supposed to if it goes to the bathroom in the house. So it's like a training spray. And sometimes you get these products and you're like, I don't know if this is going to be a good product market fit, but we're going to roll up our sleeves and we're going to do the best job that we can. So they initially came to us. They're a Peruvian company, so they're from overseas, and they're like, hey, we're killing it in most of South America, and we're trying to expand into the U.S. And they think Amazon is going to be the best way to get there to start the market before they launch their website and start doing some of that full omni-channel experience, if you will. So we got their products, no brand exposure, nothing like that. And the first thing we did is that we grew. We put the listings in. We did some keyword research. Big fan of Data Dive. Shout out to Brendan Young. We use his tool pretty in depth, and we were able to get some like really unique perspectives on the keyword architecture of that listing from a long-tailed perspective and like where there were opportunities in the market. Also specific for these products, not as competitive as you might think compared to other market spaces. That I think was just luck because she came to us with the product. We just found this out as we were doing research. Then after that, we focused on the quality of the listing. So we made sure we had some top-notch images. She hired a photography studio to get some great lifestyle shots. And then we used our in-house graphic designer to enhance those, to do like comparison, in-scale images, and to like talk about the customer experience as well as building the A+ content and the storefront content. And then we strictly focused on pay-per-click advertising and programmatic advertising, DSP. And our DSP advertising was only focused on bottom of the funnel and conquesting. So a little mid-funnel, but we really focused on targeting customers who viewed the product but didn't make the purchase. And then we build some in-market audiences around people who just bought puppies, and we had those audiences going on the back end. So we started in January. The products went live in February, give or take. And the results right now, we give or take, we do between $50,000 to $70,000 a month in sales. We have a $3 return on ad spend. And from January to August, which is the time we're filming this, we did about $500,000 on the platform to date so far. We had some really good luck with Pet Day. We also, because we're in Amazon Seller Success Program, we were able to work directly with an Amazon rep who got us into some programs, like featured on a page, and they promoted us on social media. So we had some really good sales days as a result. So it's been a really exciting brand to work with. And then since then, she now has a whole new batch of products that she's like, launch all my stuff on Amazon. So we're trying to slow her down a little bit and try to bring these on strategically and smartly. But that's just a story of something we did with a launch brand that came into the US. And from an ad spend perspective, we started off spending $2,000 to $3,000 a month, focusing on 1 to 2 products. And now we're closer to like $6,000 to $7,000 a month and really maintaining that ROAS, because that's what the client's really focused on if she's investing in advertising.
Absolutely. Like, this is an amazing story. I also really like that you are using DSP for the lower level funnel, probably remarketing, like anybody adding the product to the cart, but they don't buy. And DSP is extremely powerful there. So thank you for sharing it. It's kind of an e-commerce act too, going with, between the lines. But it is the other thing that I think is very important, that you holistically take care of it, right? It's not just advertising, the images, the photography, the A+ content, the SEO, everything together brings the
Mm-hmm.
success. It's almost like the right level of availability of inventory, because sometimes we have this problem with non-US customers with customs and
Yeah.
shipments. There's some challenges, but as long as you have the right availability and you focus on traffic, conversion, profit, same time, like, I mean, that's how it brings the success. So thanks for sharing that. It brings me to the next question, which I really like, because I'm an AI person for almost 23 years now, graduating from university with a CS degree focusing on AI. And now I love it, because in the past, when I talk about it, nobody was listening it. Now everybody's talking about AI, although 99% of the conversations is not about AI, but still, AI is becoming big within the e-commerce space. So my question is like, what role does AI play in optimizing advertising, optimizing listings, and how do you use AI within your agency?
Yeah, that's a great question. And man, AI is certainly not going anywhere. And people think it's new, but like, my cell phone would make recommendations as I would text things before the big AI boom. And that's technically AI too. So it's actually been here for some time. It's just gotten better with some of the latest technological innovations where it can really almost think for itself, for lack of a better term. But in terms of how we use AI, it certainly can replace people. We've tested AI software for advertising. We've tested using like AI automation features, and it's really not there. You still need the human component in order for it to be accurate and to work in a way that's going to drive results. So we want AI to innovate us to success, not disrupt our success. And that's what we're finding. Like even Amazon rolling out some of these new AI updates, I think effective as of like mid-September. They're just going to start updating your listings if you don't opt out of it. And we actually did opt out of it, and they're still updating some of our listings. So get ready, people. It's not going anywhere. But in terms of AI, how we use it effectively, generating images for split testing, generating multiple titles. Like what's great, you can be like, here's the product, here are some details, here are some buzzwords I think that are going to work really well. Give me 50 characters and 50 copy ideas that I can use for sponsored brand ads, and bam, 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 it's going to pump it out. If you're looking for different ways to message something or to package something together, it's a great way to get ideas. So we're using it in a way to support our efforts and to support our teams. And I forgot the guy's name. He's on LinkedIn, so I'm doing him no justice. But he owns an agency and he runs an agency. And his crystal ball and what he thinks the future is going to behold is that we're going to start seeing garage agencies where it's like 5 or 6 people doing the work of what once took 50 people. And you could see it in the creative space, just crushing it. Because now where I would have to take something to a graphic designer and it would take 2 weeks for me to get 3 or 4 variations that may not be very good, I could have in 90 seconds. And that's bananas. So my ability to test and iterate is just sped up. And it saves me like the mental capacity to worry about the strategic and what we could do on our side for a good customer experience that's going to drive results. So I think that is how we use AI, and that's kind of where we're seeing its place right now. Doesn't mean it's not going to change, but that's how we're using it.
Well, I mean, every day the AI is also improving, evolving. I just give you two examples. One is like with Eva, right now we are able to automate like 70% of PPC advertising with AI, but the 30% is still with human. But the good thing is now that PPC specialist can easily take over 3x more clients, because now he is an assistant which is doing 70% of the job. By the way, recently, and it might be interesting because you mentioned you have a customer from South America too, we started using during the calls with the customer, like we had Spanish speaking people and other, language, maybe like this. We have all this German, French guys too. But the thing is like, now with AI, you can do that simultaneous translation during the meeting. We use like Google Meet, Gemini, which means that you really don't need anymore the Spanish speaking
Wow.
brand manager. Because when you have this people already categorized based on the language they speak, like you're already creating a level of redundancy. But right now, anybody can do it because it's so great. And we tested with our Spanish-speaking customers, and they are like very happy. They didn't even realize that it's just translated simultaneously by AI. And
That's
vice versa,
amazing.
like they speak Spanish, we speak English, they speak Russian, we speak English. It's all good. Like
Yeah,
it works now. I mean,
that's
I
amazing.
think that can help, a lot of agencies as well in an interesting way.
Yeah.
Um, so one of the things that I'm also wondering about, like, you mentioned about successful cases, as well as like your focus on the growth, the holistic approach. Um, at the end of the day, once the brand is growing, maybe once it's above the 30K, 40K level and it's into a growth stage, I'm thinking that the reason why people are on Amazon is to make money now, which means profit. But also it's getting more and more difficult with Amazon and 20,
Jeez.
30 different types of fees. It's hard. So what's your strategy like to focus on increasing the profits?
Yeah, I mean, we do a lot of analysis around fee analyses. So, like, and there's software solutions that do a lot of this for us, making sure that Amazon just doesn't change your dimensions. One of the things they changed was like your look back window for reimbursements, which means like you need to have a software in place and you need to be using it regularly. Because at the end of the day, like that, those are really ways to improve efficiency. Then outside of that, it's a little outside of the scope of what we do, but we will make recommendations to improve packaging. So like if we do test buys, we act as ghost shoppers, for lack of a better term. I think they're something else, but we'll buy the package and we'll make suggestions based on what's coming, but we also buy some of the competitors' packaging and we can say, hey, this is bulky or this needs to be improved here and here. Here's a manufacturer we work with, consider updating it here. So that's getting way in the weeds. But for the most part, and for our traditional operations, it's like analyzing our fees and making sure we're charged properly, which we have software solutions for that. And then where reimbursement opportunities are, going after them pretty hard to make sure that we are able to get reimbursed to improve efficiency. And then outside of that, it's advertising efficiency, where you're spending money, ensuring it's aligned with our customer goals to make sure that we're not overspending or underspending, and we're staying within. We use tacos, total advertising cost of sale. We're within some type of acceptable tacos range, depending on what the goals are within the account.
Makes a lot of sense. And I like that you mentioned the reimbursement stuff. As Eva, we are one of the largest reimbursement providers, more than 9,000 brands. We are doing the recovery. And one of the things is now this new announcement basically cuts the time to do the reimbursements from 18 months down to like 2 months. A lot of sellers, even they were not doing it regularly, or they were doing it quarterly or even monthly, but not checking everything. And now Amazon wants to pay less as usual. So it becomes like, I mean, what we did was after the first 15 days where we let Amazon to do the automated reimbursement, which is fine, we do the reimbursements in 48 hours. So in
Wow.
48 hours, we take everything that is possible to refund, because it takes also some more time to
Yeah.
get the cases
Case
approved and
management.
everything.
Yeah.
But it can easily add 2 to 3% in the bottom line of the P&L.
Yeah,
So
you nailed it. 2 to 3%, pretty accurate compared to what we're seeing too. And to your point too, you got to be on top of the cases. I mean, that's the biggest part. A lot of these softwares will create the cases, they'll identify it. But if somebody's not inside the account following up, you're going to lose those money in 60 to 90 days. And it's just, it's better in your pocket than Amazon's pocket.
exactly. Now, as we all both mentioned about this increasing fees and increasing level of competition, what we see is like there is more tendency with the brands to go beyond Amazon right now, right? I mean, they want to see if an omni-channel strategy will be much better for them. I know that you guys are working with Walmart too. So, I mean, it will be great to understand from your perspective, like how important it is to have an omni-channel approach for a brand. What is the right time to expand, and what will be the right platform to expand?
Yeah, absolutely. So Amazon's definitely important. 50% of e-commerce, like it's not going anywhere. If I'm rating like priorities, we don't actually operate or do any marketing for Shopify or your own D2C. But I would say that's a one or two. The benefit of like lower fees, you control the customer experience, you get the customer data. It's a really big part of any brand that's building. And then I'd say like third would be your Walmart. And it's just not as large. The system is getting a lot better. I'm not going to lie. It's actually gotten a lot better from a couple of years ago, but it's still really hard to operate. Customer service is mediocre at best. It's the customer experience is buy online, pick up in store. So if you're a three-piece seller, it's a little more difficult to really get traction. The advertising console and platform is okay. It just doesn't have as many of the bells and whistles that we'd like. And even the listings, like you have to pay Criteo, in order to get A+ content on your listings. And it's really expensive, the monthly fee to keep it going. So they still have lots of opportunity to improve on Walmart. But the benefit of being on Walmart, you don't need to spend all that money. You can create your listings. They have software like Sellbrite and Listing Mirror. I'm not on the Shopify side, so I'm sure there's better softwares out there. It's been a few years since I've done website stuff. But they have software that'll just take your information directly from your website or your Amazon store and put it right into Walmart. So like it doesn't hurt to have a presence on there. If you're using a third-party fulfillment center, take advantage of it. You can even use the merchant channel fulfillment if you're using that for your website as a way to fulfill Walmart orders. But we do see a bump if you do WFS, and there is a market there. And generally what we see, you can do anywhere from like 10 to 30% of your sales that you're doing on Amazon is give or take what you could probably do on Walmart. If you're one piece seller, that's way different. You can make some bank on Walmart. But unfortunately, most of the brands we work with are on the three-piece side.
Right. I saw that as well, personally, the 1P sellers have a bigger advantage. With the 3P sellers, we also go for a pragmatic strategy, like pick the best sellers on Amazon, start with that on Walmart. No need to just copy all the listings, and from there, just slowly build the Walmart channel. And as you said, it's typically 10 to 30% of the Amazon revenue. If it is 30%, it's already great, but
Exactly.
mostly it's like closer to 10. But I mean, that's great. The other thing is, for example, one thing we implemented is Eva automatically synchronizes the prices between Amazon and Walmart,
Oh, that's a great
because,
feature.
and also with Shopify. Why it is interesting and important? Because Amazon will not like to have the price of the product being lower on Walmart or Shopify for any reason, which may end up like a suppressed buy box on the Amazon side. So, fixing that and having the same prices, but or if you update Amazon price for any reason, like coupons or discounts or dynamic pricing, we have a dynamic pricing tool, then it's automatically synchronized to Walmart. That's also nice. So, but I
Dynamic
mean,
pricing is a great feature, by the way. I think that's a great tool and highly recommended to any seller. So they should definitely check out your dynamic. We've seen case studies where like being able to manipulate pricing can improve profitability, especially if your inventory is running low. And you bring up a great point with them suppressing your listing. So using AI for dynamic pricing is definitely next level.
absolutely. Now, I mean, especially when pricing and advertising works together, that
Yep.
brings the best results, because our pricing engine was developed before advertising, and it was kind of a standalone dynamic pricing engine. But right now it's together with advertising. And just to give you an idea, one of the top 50 Amazon seller by using dynamic pricing was able to increase the profits by, I mean, I just know the number that is like they made like $150,000 additional profit. And
Damn.
the
Money
owner
in the
called
bank.
me. I mean, that was very interesting, because it's a platform, so it's not really very expensive. Like they pay $500 a month. And this is like one of the biggest sellers. And then he called me, he said like, look, I think we should pay more. And I'm like, maybe, so that was like the most interesting conversation that led, like the customer wants to pay more. And then finally we agreed that we will do some other things for them, just she wants to pay the favor. So, well, I mean, thanks for the insights and everything you mentioned. Like, it's really great. Like, I really enjoyed the conversation. And as the final question is more about like maybe sharing an e-commerce hack with our audience that they can go back and check and practically implement and see some benefits. So stage is yours, Will.
All right, I got a hack for your audience. Here it is. So we're big fans of affiliate marketing. We actually do some work with Levanta and Archer affiliates, but Amazon has their own version, the Content Creator or Content Connections. They changed the name like 3 times already, but I think it's Creator Connections as of now. And it's your ability to work directly with Amazon affiliates. These are influencers, but they're also like PR websites and all that other fun stuff. And what you could do is you could fill out the back end, create, we're looking for beauty brands and we're selling beauty products. And here are some of the talking points about our products. And my hack, which is pretty cool, is you could actually take your brand referral bonus link and use that link to promote the product. So essentially, it's a commission-based program, so it's performance-based. And you could say, I'm going to do 10% on that, and technically Amazon's going to pay you that because they're going to give you that referral fee. We recommend doubling it up to 20%, knowing you're going to save 10% because you want people to buy into the product and you don't necessarily need to do samples. But that's our little hack for you guys. So if you haven't already, I believe it lives in the advertising console. Make sure that you check that out and you're leveraging that program. As an agency, it's hard to get good volume, but the ROAS on it is like next level. It's really strong. But we don't, through Amazon, we just don't get the volume, so it is what it is. But we're able to save our customers an additional 10% by leveraging that little hack. So shout it out here for anybody who may be using the Creator Connections program and also the brand referral bonus program.
Oh, that's great. Great. So you also mentioned the other influencer marketing platform, which we see some good results, but also like what you shared is amazing. And I'm sure that Amazon will invest a lot more into that influencer marketing platforms. Otherwise, who knows? I mean, then the others might take it over, so
Yeah.
because that's the big thing, right? Next couple of years will be all about influencers. But thank you for sharing the hack. And thank you for joining our podcast, Will. I really, really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, Hive. It's been great being here.
Thank you.